following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, where every man in my thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't trust me, big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy, big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Bitch, I'm your wanna be, Jimmy Star's new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Star's.
Hey ho, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a great show for you guys today. It's going to be so much fun. Before we get started, let's say hi to my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Ron Russell. Do I need to make us light brighter?
You are so animated and so full of energy today, I could throw up.
That's okay. Should I make us brighter? Because we look kind of dark.
Yeah, make us brighter. And look, Astro's on our show. He's a ham. He wants to be on our show every single week. He's really a ham.
So here, look at talk.
That's good. That's nice. Oh, that's very bright. Yeah, that's good. You can see how ugly and wrinkled I am. Okay, good. Now I'm orange. Look at I'm really orange. Sit still. You can get a good lighting. Good.
That's fine.
Anyway,
right.
Astro is so happy to be on our show all the time. Right, Astro? You see how happy he is? He gives me kisses. Woo! I make out with my dog. I don't care. I love him so much. I love my doggy. Okay, so let's talk about health, because I have stopped sugar completely on my third week. No fructose, no alcohol, sugar, not meaning liquor that you drink, but they put alcohol, sugar in food. No corn oil sugar also. To make corn taste good, they put an abundance amount of sugar in, I guess when they grow it, I don't know how they do it, but they get sugar in corn. So I've stopped corn and corn products. My bread I buy, which is delicious and I love it, and I'm not doing the commercial, is keto bread. Not cheap, but really good. Toasted with some butter on it, excellent. In doing so, I have lost 14 pounds.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. My knees feel better, less weight on my knees. Believe it or not, when I watched on YouTube a professor who was doing a lecture at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York, he said, your brain fog will clear up. Well, I had no idea that ingesting a little sugar that I did was causing such a brain fog. Also, I began getting neuropathy in my feet and calves that was so painful. Now it's gone. So sugar is not good at my age. It's a very bad poison. Yet they put sugar in everything. I can remember when I lived in Florida, there was a restaurant that my friend owned in Boca Raton. And I said to him, boy, your customers, they love your food. They keep coming back like crazy. He said, well, I put a half a pound of butter in and tons of sugar. I said, you put sugar in your red Italian sauce? He said, yep. It tastes sweet and they love it and they come back. So that's what they do to us. They don't care about our health. They only care about selling their product or their food. So they will put sugar in everything because sugar is addictive. When you cut sugar out completely, I'm told, after a while, the taste of sugar is repugnant. You can't even deal with it. It's disgusting. And you have no carb cravings. So if you cut carbs out and sugar out, you'll be a lot healthier, thinner, and clearer minded.
So I didn't go as crazy as he did, but I lost 11 pounds in the same 2 weeks just by cutting out like cookies and ice cream and foods with a lot of sugar, like eating natural things. We've been eating blueberries and
why are you lying to the audience? You drink Coca-Cola
I do drink
by the
Coke,
gallons.
and I'm not going to stop drinking Coca-Cola because
it's
that's my
loaded
favorite
with
thing.
Sugar. The other day I saw you with lemon drop candy.
Well, I had already bought those before the diet.
That's
so I
all
wanted
sugar,
to see 'em.
Jimmy. So I don't know how you stopped sugar. You're full of
I didn't
crap.
say I stopped sugar. I said I just. What did I say when I first got on here? I said I'm not doing it crazy like you.
No, you're not doing it at
but
all.
I say I am. If I stopped all the other things except for soda, like I stopped a lot of sugar.
Meanwhile, all the crap you buy that's in your cupboard,
That's
he has
all
a
old.
He has a secret cupboard. Before you go to his office, there's a cupboard filled with garbage candy.
No, it's not. All it has is cookies now. Those cookies that you get on the airplane that I had bought before we started the diet, and I have to have something for breakfast, like
Yeah,
like
cookies. All right, honey. Good
like
for you.
I'm eating less. Obviously, I lost 11 pounds in 2 weeks, so like I'm eating
Only because I'm
less.
cooking differently. You're losing it because
No.
of how I'm cooking.
And because I'm not eating ice cream every night and cookies every night. Anyway, we got a great show for you guys today, you guys. It's going to be a lot of
Harry
fun.
changes the
The
subject.
chat room is starting to fill up. We want to say hi to
He's
everybody in
changing
the chat room.
subject because he's a junk food eater. Anyway,
No, because we're not a health store show.
I'm telling people out there who may be in trouble like me. There may be people out there who are 82 years old with pain in their legs and their knees hurt because they're overweight and they're loaded with sugar. Now they'll listen to me and they'll say, Ron Russell may have something there, so let me try and do what he did and they'll get better. I believe in giving back, Jimmy. In all my life, I have worked hard. Now, at this age, I've accumulated a lot of knowledge, and I want to give it back to the people who read my Facebook page as well as who watch us on our show. And don't be a KUNT.
Hey, CUNT. Okay.
No, don't
Look.
correct my spelling either. I deliberately did it.
Look at the camera for B. We need to get a picture for our promo. Hey, B. All right, everybody. So the chat room is filling up. We're going to have a great show for you guys today. First, let's say hi to people in the chat room. B. Claudia, obviously, in the chat room. Don Hinton is back. Welcome back. JB, who's Julia from Russia, is there. I know Eileen is here because she sent me a text message, and so did Stefan
Who,
Bell.
Eileen Shapiro?
Yes.
Eileen, I love that post you had about having, when I wrote back that you have a tape measure in your eyes.
That's fun.
It's true.
So people are joining us. We're going to have a really fun show today, you guys. We have world-renowned choreographer Vincent Paterson coming on, and then we have Galen Howard, who's a phenomenal character actor. You've seen him in all kinds of things, and so it's going to be a fun show today, and we're looking very much forward to it.
Yesterday, I was on Brian
Sebastian.
I know that. Brian
reviews and more.
Sebastian's show, and it was a different show for me because I was supposed to be the guest, and the other people that were on kind of took it over, and they brought the show places I don't go because I'm funny and wild and crazy and silly and stupid, and they were coming at me with this guerrilla stuff, really heavy-duty woman feminist stuff, which I don't get involved with. Jimmy said that it's called woke. No, what is it?
Woke. They were like woke.
They were like woke. The hell ever woke means. These new words that these morons are creating make me sick. I mean, they don't speak English anymore. We don't write in script and we don't speak English. We speak weirdness. Woke. What does woke mean?
Anyway,
look it up. I don't think there's a definition for woke
there
unless I woke up hungry.
which we all have been. So now that we're not eating anything, we wake up
Yeah,
hungry all the time.
He woke up hungry and had 25 White Castles.
No, I didn't. I wish.
He
I
would.
wish we had a White Castle here. I love White Castle.
See what I mean?
All you guys on the East Coast have White Castle. You don't know what you're like missing when you come here because we don't have
I
it.
intend to get thin, healthy, and get a lower facelift. Look how nice that looks.
Anyway, so you guys, we want to thank everybody
So
for.
if you see me in another couple of months looking like this, I'm not going to deny it. I had a lower facelift. I don't need a Astro. Get your tongue.
This
out
is
of
our
my
dog
mouth.
Astro for anybody who just tuned
All
in
he
and
wants
doesn't
to
know
do is
Astro.
make out with me. He thinks I'm into bestiality, but I'm not.
So we want
That
to
was
thank
kind of-
everybody for tuning in. You can hear the show on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, Amazon Prime, and SoundCloud. We want to thank everybody for tuning in every week because we're having a really good time and we're getting a lot of downloads, and we bumped up another space to number 10, best celebrity interview podcast in the world. So we're having a very good time because there's a ton of them. We're going to bring on our first guest in a
But I
minute.
want to say something. You people out there, don't you wish your mate, your husband, or your wife would kiss you as much as your friggin' dog does?
I kiss you all the time.
Not like him. You don't lick my face.
Come here. So we're going to take a quick music break, and then we're going to come back with our very first guest. It'll be a lot of fun. Check out Young Zuck overseas. Young Zuck, we're going to see him this weekend at the Tommy Knockers movie premiere with a whole bunch of other people. And I want to say
something about Young Zuck. I was on YouTube, and I hit something, and there was about 10 different quick videos, instant videos of Zuck giving you sound advice, telling you all the things that you need to know to survive in the world today. So I'm going to talk to Zuck about that on the weekend and find out how you can get to see it. Very interesting. He's a very sweet kid with a lot of brains.
Check it out, you guys. Young Zuck overseas. We'll be right back.
Got my drip from overseas.
AJ Production.
Got my drip from overseas. Got my drip from overseas. Rockin' Louis V. All white kicks when I kick it low key. Shawty bust down, slim thick in them jeans. Now I'm gonna take a flight and we going overseas. Got my drip from overseas. Rockin' Louis V. All white kicks when I kick it low key. Shawty bust down, slim thick in them jeans. Now I'm gonna take a flight and we going overseas. Got my drip from overseas. Rockin' Louis V. I got plenty money and bitches they on me. I'm a fly turn young and I be starting rolling. She be acting like she know me, but bitch that's the old me.
Cut you off quick, I'm so tired of that faking and capping. That bitch be all up on my dick, but I can't for no average. My new girl know that she the shit, swear to God she the baddest. We gon' pull up, drop 'em quick, tell them what's in the attic. I count on 40, 50, that bitch said she love me, she rolling with me. I been on my grind, I'ma go and get it. Catch me at the top now, posted with a plot now. Ooh, I'm so high now, go to the money. Roll to the money, skirt off in that ghost on you dummy. Oh, so you know me, I just wanna go to the money. Roll to the money, skirt off in that ghost on you dummy. Oh, so now you know me, yeah.
Rockin' Louis V, all white kicks when you kick it low key. Shawty bust down, slim thick in them jeans. I'm gonna take a flight and we going overseas.
Got my drip from overseas. I'm rockin' Louis V. I got plenty money and bitches they on me. I'm a fly turn young and I be starting rolling. She be acting like she know me, but bitch that's the old me. Yeah.
First class, you know how we roll through. Got designer on my jeans with the hoes too. Yeah, I take it back, drop it for the all you. Everything I want, baby, I just bought it brand new. I got the ones, the twos, the threes, and the fours. Hop out the way with a suicide door, yeah. Made the crowd scream, different city, world tour, yeah. I gotta have it all, but I really want more. What's new? Yeah, you see me on the news. Wanna take a picture, I don't wanna take it too. Say I'm looking fresh, I'm the flyest in the room. Me and Mari taking off, we gon' meet you at the moon. Rockin' Louis V, all white kicks when you kick it low key. Shawty bust down, slim thick in them jeans. Now I'm gonna take a flight and we going overseas.
Got my drip from overseas. Rockin' Louis V. I got plenty money and bitches they on me. I'm a fly turn young and I be starting rolling. She be acting like she know me, but bitch that's the old me. Yeah.
Yo, overseas, we out in this bitch right now.
Yeah, everybody, that's Young Zuck overseas. Enjoy it. He's really talented. He's a lot of fun, and he's like the most respectful young person on the planet.
He's anti-drug, anti-drinking. He's clean living. He's an inspiration for all young people today. You don't have to be a junkie or a booze addict to be cool. He shows you how to be cool and be straight.
There you go. So now we're going to bring on our very first guest. His name is Vincent Patterson. Let's bring him in. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Ron. And hi, Astro. Hi, Astro.
I'm not allowed to speak until he introduces
You have to introduce you first,
so
now
I
that we know we can hear you.
I don't want you to think I'm rude, and I'm ignoring you when you said hi. But you know, Jimmy thinks he's a director, producer.
I am.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, everybody. We're married, in case you don't know, so we
introduce
argue.
me so I could say hi. Back.
All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Director, choreographer, author, and probably many other things, Vincent Patterson. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hi, you guys. How you doing?
How you doing?
Fantastic. So
listen, I want to tell you, I was just listening to the beginning of the show, and I lost 14 pounds in the past 6 weeks from dropping sugar from my diet, Ron.
See, there you go.
That sugar is for the birds, let me tell you.
I'm telling you.
About 50 years ago, my friend Arlene said, sugar's bad, and we all laughed at her. Her son never had sugar in his life. Today, he's a lung specialist. doctor. So her son is super intelligent. Other kids were stupid because we were feeding them lollipops, candy bars, It does dull the brain.
So here's what we want to do. First thing I need you to do, because Eileen can't stay the whole show, and she wants me to make sure I have you say hello to Eileen Shapiro, since she introduced us to have you on the show. So say hi to Eileen.
Hi, Eileen. Hi, Eileen. Thank you for the introduction. You're so sweet. I really appreciate it.
Did you ever see her? Did you ever meet her?
I've never met her. We just spoke on the phone for a long time, and she invited me to a movie in a couple of weeks, but I had another conflict, so I couldn't do it.
Very hot-looking blonde with a pair of tits like you can't imagine. No, seriously. When she gets up and holds her tits out, they come to California. That's how big they are. She's in New York. Anyway,
so hold on, wait.
You have a very sexy agent there, let me tell you.
Yes. No, she's not our agent, his agent. She interviewed him for, I think, Get Out, right? She interviewed you for Get Out?
Yeah, she did. I think it's coming out soon.
My favorite magazine.
Yeah, it's a great magazine.
And I'm very good pals with the owner. I think he's terrific.
So hold on. Okay, so now I have two more people I need you to say hello to. The first one who just wrote in here, what a legend and an icon you are. Her name is B. Claudia, and she's in Germany. So please say hi to B. Claudia.
Hi, B. Claudia. Nice to I don't know where you're in Germany, but I love Germany. I have a show that's in Berlin. I've been to Munich. I've been all over the place. I love Germany. So hi.
She knows everything about you, and the book that we're going to talk about later, she's like, I just bought the book. She's just like freaking out. And she has a son, a very young son who she's very proud of, who's a dancer and a choreographer. He's very young. He's super duper talented. And she told me all these stories about how he followed your whole career. He knows everything about you. So his name is Nicholas Vincent. He's got Vincent in his name. So if you could just do a shout out to Nicholas Vincent, that would like totally make their day. And we try to help them a lot because B. Claudia started out as a fan, and now she's become a great friend. So we would appreciate if you could give a shout out to Nicholas Vincent.
Hey, Nicholas Vincent. Nice to see you, man. Nice to hear from you. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great day. And keep on dancing, man. Keep on dancing and follow your heart.
Well, listen, I could have been a very famous dancer today because when I was 16 years old, the road production of West Side Story was auditioning. And I went down and I jumped in the air and they said, next. And that was the end of my career as a chorus boy. First of all, I was 6 foot.
They're lost.
I was 6 foot.
Lost, Ron.
Yeah, they're lost.
Wait, I was 6 foot. Lost. How many Puerto Ricans do you know that is 6'1"? But I look Puerto Rican because I had black hair, black eye, very dark Italian. So I passed, but they looked at me and they said to me, have you ever had any dance training? I said, yeah, I used to go to confraternity at the church on Wednesday night. I never got the job. But Jane Russell, who was my buddy of all buddies, used to always talk about the guy from Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. My God, his name just left me. The choreographer was wonderful. He taught Marilyn and Jane how to dance for Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Jack Cole, thank you so much.
Jack Cole.
Jane worshipped him. She used to talk about Jack all the time. She said he had the patience of Job because the girls were tripping over each other, but he was very hard on the chorus boys. The chorus boys he was tough with, but he was very nice with Jane and Marilyn. And Jack Cole really was a great choreographer. As was Pan. What was his name?
Hermes Pan.
Yes,
Hermes.
you know. Hermes Pan, another one.
Hermes Pan.
Of course, you're up there with those guys.
So wait, I want to do a little bragging, first of all, so people actually know who we're talking about a little bit here. So, and we're going to talk about your book. Don't worry, we got plenty of time. We'll bring everything together. So you guys, Vincent, I keep looking at and see Nicholas Vincent on here, and I'm like, I have to scratch that out so I don't screw things up. So Vincent Patterson, you guys, when I say choreographer, he's like an icon, you guys. Some of the people he's worked with, Michael Jackson, Blood on the Dance Floor. Actually, here, I'm going to read some of these things off.
Did you do the choreography for Thriller?
I was assistant choreographer, and I was a dancing zombie.
Oh, I loved it. That was in one of my most favorite Michael Jackson pieces. I would love to watch. I still love watching.
Wait, though, you're gonna like listen to this. Okay, so you guys, Michael Jackson, Blood on the Dance Floor. He was lots of movies he's done choreography for: Evita, The Birdcage, Angus, Hook, Madonna, Truth or Dare, Havana, Madonna, Blondie Ambition Japanese tour in the 1990, The Mighty Quinn, Moonwalker, Michael Jackson music video, Mannequin the movie, which we love that movie. South Pacific 2001. He also did the choreography for the Bjork movie Dancer in the Dark. He did the MGM documentary When the Lion Roars in 1992. He was a Tony nominee in the 47th annual Tony Awards for 1993. He's in the Weird Al Eat It music video. Did you also choreograph it?
I didn't know, but I kind of staged it, but I didn't choreograph it really. But I was the only one from Beat It. I was the gang leader in Michael Jackson's Beat It, and they called me to ask if I would be in Eat It for Weird Al, and I said, absolutely.
You also did Michael Jackson's Will You Be There? Smooth Criminal, which I think is next to Beat It. I mean, next to Thriller is probably like his best music video. I think Smooth Criminal is like phenomenal. The Way You Make Me Feel, Van Halen's Hot for Teacher. So you've done all kinds of things. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, how did you become, and you're also a director. So some of these things you directed?
Yes. I directed a lot of those things. I directed some videos for Michael Jackson. I directed the Blonde Ambition tour for Madonna, and which was so much fun. And we changed the face of pop tours. You know, we changed it from just people coming out and performing and singing to all of a sudden more theatrical with dancers and changing sets and changing costumes and all of that. And yes, I've done a lot of directing as well. And I've directed a lot in Europe, and I'm getting ready to direct another big project in Europe. So yeah, I do it all.
So how
have you directed a lot of Broadway?
I haven't directed Broadway, but I was nominated for a Tony for choreographing Kid the Spider Woman with Cheetah Rivera.
Oh, I love Cheetah. Oh my God,
yeah.
my favorite one. Isn't she
Love
wonderful?
Cheetah. Yes.
She is the kindest, most beautiful woman in the world. I adore Cheetah Rivera.
She is so sweet and such a hard worker and so adorable and never
A
complains.
good dancer. She was really some hell of an energetic dancer. She could kick nobody. Oh, I love Cheetah. Cheetah is one of my favorites.
So how did you get into the whole thing? Because someplace I read it online that and maybe it was just for a dancer. Like it said that you started late in life, which I don't know how old late in life is. It can't be that old because you were like doing it young. But like, how did you decide? Did you wake up and say, hey, I'm going to be, the world's greatest choreographer? How did that all come about?
I wish it was that easy. No, I didn't. I was an actor basically. And at 24, I passed by a dance studio all the time. And I thought, I'm so out of shape. Maybe I should do something to get in shape. And I went in and started taking my first dance classes at 24. That's why they say late, because most dancers start in their teens or younger. But I just got addicted. I absolutely loved the dance. I was living in Tucson, Arizona, and I moved out to California after 4 years of beginning to dance, learning how to dance. And I thought, I really want to see if I can do this, and worked my butt off, auditioning, taking class and everything. And finally got some great jobs. I toured the world with Shirley MacLaine. I was Barbara Mandrell's dance partner on her series for 2 years. And then I got like these music videos like Beat It and Thriller. And from that, crazy people like Van Halen and all, they started to call me up and say, hey, we want dancing in art. Can you come and teach us how to do some dancing? And so I did. I did Hot for Teacher, which was the beginning of the crotch grab. Was the first time I did that moment. And the thing I love about that Hot for Teacher was I seem to always be.
Froze. Oh no, we froze.
They think it's too sexy. But Tipper Gore had gone in front of the, government council for vulgarity or something.
Yeah,
and highlighted Hot for Teacher as one of the most vulgar and disrespectful videos and that should not be shown to children. But I even have a better one. When I did the Blonde Ambition tour, I think it was Pope Paul, he came out and said, with the Blonde Ambition tour, Satan has been re-released in the world. And I thought, oh my God, I did that?
You made it.
No, and you know what? And you know what? He was so upset by it that he told his 19-year-old boyfriend that night how upset he was. His 19-year-old lover. But anyway, I had a wonderful friend in New York who I loved, Pasquale. Did you know Pasquale, the choreographer?
No.
Pasquale did a lot of Broadway, and he was just sensational. And I remember him saying to me, Ron, I worked so hard that my feet bled. Did your feet ever bleed? Yeah.
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely. Oh, my God. Now I'm suffering. I mean, I've always been very healthy, but I'm getting up there, and all those years of dancing, the bones start to go, and it's, all my organs are great, but the bones really have paid a price. So
I know that they wanted me to dance at the Met Ballet, but they wanted me to do Nijinsky's The Faun. And I said, I can't commit because I'm very busy. I'm 82 years old, And they said, would you like to dance The Faun? I said, well, maybe.
So wait, I have a question. So I've met Madonna once, and she was super nice when I met her. I was like backstage at a concert that she was in, and it was really weird. I was in Florida, and there's some criminal guy who I had been hanging out with. I didn't know he was a criminal at the time, but he knew how to get in places. So we got to go in, and I sat down next to George Lucas and Rosie O'Donnell. It was just a blast. I had a blast, and she was super cool. So how was it working, with Madonna? I mean, that was when Madonna was like Madonna.
Yeah.
Like at her height of her career.
Well, it was so exciting because, I did a real controversial Pepsi commercial with her. And then I did the video Express Yourself with her. And then I choreographed and directed the Blonde Ambition tour with her. And I did her appearance on the Academy Awards, where she sang Sooner or Later, looking so gorgeously sexy like Marilyn Monroe. And I created that the Vogue version of the Marie Antoinette version of Vogue that she did on the MTV show. And I did Evita. So I got to work with her for the movie Evita. So, 10 years, I guess, we worked back and forth together.
She was very confident and comfortable with you.
Yeah, she and you know what? Just like you said, Jimmy, it was when she was really at the height. And when people are there, they want to listen, because they want to do their best. And it's before all the years after when they think they know everything, So I was very fortunate to work with her at an incredible time in her career and in my career. And, unlike Michael Jackson, when Michael Jackson would hire you to do something, he would just give you free rein and just say, go ahead and do it. The funny thing about Madonna was she always questioned everything. So, you'd say, okay, I have this idea. Well, I don't know if that's a good idea. Why don't you show me? And then you have to show her. And then
you know why she did that? Because she was Italian.
Yeah, he'd probably do that too.
Italians are suspicious of everything. What did you think of Madonna's Vogue? The choreography?
Well, I worked on Vogue for her. I worked on it. The first day I went in to work on the Blonde Ambition tour, two of the Vogue dancers had put movement together, and they were getting ready to shoot the next day, the video. And I needed to take that movement and make it into a dance. So that's what I did for them. And they shot it the next day. And then we did another version of it when I did the Blonde Ambition tour. And then the third version of it when I did, dressed her as Marie Antoinette. So I thought she did an incredible thing bringing Vogue to the masses.
I think Vogue is Madonna's best work as far as I'm concerned. I hear it now when I get up and dance. I mean, it is such a beat, and her voice and the lyrics. It's a first class, 100% wonderful video.
Ron used to have a show called Set the Record Straight, and he's basically like a Turner Classic Movies icon. And so when it talks about Greta Garbo and Monroe and all those different people, like he's met like half of them. Except for Marilyn Monroe. You didn't meet Marilyn Monroe.
No, Marilyn, I was too young.
Yeah, but he's met a whole bunch of them because Jane Russell was his best friend, and so he's met also. He loves the whole everything about it. And we have a friend, a very good friend.
Well, what does that got to do with Madonna?
It's her. What do you mean? What's it got to do with it? It's her song. It's in the song.
Oh, right. All the names in
the song. Vogue.
Oh, now I.
And we have a very good friend. We have a very good friend named Leon, who we're going to be working on a movie with, and he's actually the main character in the Madonna "Like a Prayer" video. black guy.
Leon.
I love Leon.
And he's a really cool.
One of our favorite people.
Yeah, he's super cool. So I think that's really cool. Just I think in general, what you've been able to accomplish is really cool. And then another like 6 degrees of separation. So, you know, Eileen and I have a PR company called World Star PR, and one of our clients is Howard Bloom, who was the publicist to the Stars, and he was Michael Jackson's publicist for like 20 or 30 years or something.
Wow.
Would you have liked to have worked with Angela Lansbury on MAME?
I love Angela Lansbury. I wish I had the opportunity to work with her. Oh my God, what an amazing actress. What an amazing person.
I met her briefly. She was the most charming. In 1 minute that I met her, she held my hand and just was so elegant and ladylike and charming and warm. I fainted. I was so, you know, I've met them all. So, you know, movie stars don't knock me over. But Angela Lansbury did. She was just the most charming woman you ever want to meet.
In the chat room,
go ahead. Betty Davis. I got to meet Betty Davis, and I was Betty Davis. You know, I guess you may know this, but she had always spoken to the Academy for us to get an Oscar for hair and makeup people, because she always believed that hair and makeup people were the geniuses on the sets. And since the Academy didn't do a show, she would every once in a while put up an award show just for hair and makeup people. And I was fortunate enough one year not only dance on the show, but I was chosen by the choreographer. I was a lot younger. I was chosen by the choreographer to be Betty Davis's personal escort back and forth to the stage, to her dressing room. So she would invite me in and have me sit down, have a cup of coffee with her. And she was so funny, just smoking those one cigarette after the next and smoking. And she'd say, like, tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself, you know. And I'd talk about my things, and she'd say, "You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy."
I was at a party at her apartment over on Havenhurst, and I was watching her, and she was smoking. She inhaled a cigarette and drank her drink. And I had to say, "Betty, how do you do that? How do you swallow your liquor with the smoke?" And she said, "It ain't easy." When I first went to her apartment on Havenhurst, she lived at the Colony, and her apartment was 4th floor, 4F. So my sense of humor and hers is the same. And when I went in, I said, "Betty, what an apropos apartment number, 4F." And she said, "Yes, 4 fucks." She was a dirty mouth. She was far from the lady she was on the screen. She loved a dirty joke. My friend of mine, Tristan Rogers, a soap opera star, had a long talk with her about a dildo. I mean, Betty Davis was really so far from that hootie tootie broad from Maine, you know. She was just a down-to-earth broad. She liked to drink, smoke, and have fun. And she loved the boys. She loved the gay boys. I mean, I loved Betty. Betty and I had a lot of fun together.
Wow. I wish I had known her better. But
you know, most of the guests at her party would roll their eyes when I would speak to her, because they would think, "Oh, she's going to throw him out." But she liked that, because Betty and I we're frank. I'm very frank. I'm from Brooklyn. I tell it like it is. That's what Betty liked. We went to La Moustache with Gallo, the producer, and we were doing something for lunch in California, in LA. La Moustache was a restaurant. And she had a sailor hat like that, and big sunglasses and no lipstick. Well, we had lunch. Nobody knew who she was. Suddenly, she got out the tube of lipstick, and I'll never forget how she puts a lipstick on. And it was funny. And she turned around and she said, "More coffee, please," with that Betty. Well, all the queens jumped up screaming. "Oh my God!" They ran over to her and they said, "Oh, Miss Davis, I love you. I adore you. I worship you." You know, she said, "Of course you do. Of course you do." Of course you do. And I almost choked on my coffee, and I busted her balls about that until she died. Whenever I had an opportunity, I said, "But of course you do. But of course you do." She had a hell of a sense of humor.
So
I missed that broad.
So first of all, the chat room, they're also making sure I bring out the fact that you've also choreographed opera, which I didn't know that. I didn't see that. Where I was Manon. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Mignon.
Manon.
Okay, so they wanted to make sure that I bring that out so everybody knows you've also done opera. Do you have a thing that you like doing the best out of all the different types of things, between music videos and movies and operas? Is there something that you enjoy more than the other? Or are they all kind of the same?
No, I think most I like directing musicals. I think that's my favorite thing. I directed musical Cabaret. It was the first original production in Berlin. I did it in 2004, and it's still running now every single summer. So that's very exciting. And then I directed the musical The Vita in Vienna 4 years ago, just before the pandemic. And that went really, really well. It was supposed to run for 2 months and ran for 9 months. So I love doing that. And I'm getting ready to do a new original one that I can't really say the name about right now, but I think I like that best. I like directing and choreographing musicals.
I would agree with that. What did you think of Sid Charisse?
I loved Sid Charisse, and I got to meet Sid Charisse.
I never met her. I'm jealous.
Oh my God! I was at the Monaco Dance Forum. I was invited to speak there, and Sid Charisse was there, and they asked me if I would escort her to a lunch. So she and I picked her up, and I took her to a luncheon, and we sat together. She was such a lady, and I told her that when I first began to choreograph, the way I taught myself was watching the dance that she did with Fred Astaire to Dancing in the Dark out in the park that Hermes Pan did. And when she heard that story, she was so surprised, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. What a lady, what a sweetheart. Oh my gosh, what a sweetheart. And what a beautiful dancer."
Yes, I never met her. And had I met her, I would have said to her, "You have the most magnificent legs of any human being in the earth." Those legs were sculpted and long. And could she dance? My favorite number is with she and Fred Astaire in the Chinese number. Oh shit! That wonderful.
Girl Hunt.
No, in the
Chinese.
movie, she was in a green, emerald green. Nothing, with her legs kicking in the air, dancing with Fred Astaire, and he was a gangster.
I think it's Girl Hunt. I think the piece is called Girl Hunt.
Oh, the piece is called Girl Hunt. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
my favorite. That piece that she did was fabulous. I mean,
Oh my
what
God.
what a dancer.
Yeah.
What did you think of Shirley
Absolutely.
MacLaine? Shirley, I know. What did you think of Shirley?
Well, I had a little rough time with Shirley, but she was my heroine, I should say, for years and years and years. I loved everything. I still love every piece of acting she's ever done, and I think she's one of the most amazing actresses that ever existed. But I did a tour with her, and I had a little problem with her because what would happen is every once in a while she would gain a little weight, and it would be right in the middle, And one of the things I had to do in the show, she had a Velcro belt that I had to put around her waist and attach, and because it had a big joke to it. It had all these little beads in the back, and she would turn her butt to the audience and kind of do a twerking thing and get a big laugh, Well, when she would gain a little weight, unfortunately, this belt didn't have elasticity. So she would push out her belly and the thing would fall to the floor, and it would be my fault, She would blame it on me.
Well, knowing,
I was incompetent. I was an incompetent dancer because I couldn't put this piece of Velcro together on her belly, But after that, years later, I directed. You go, Ron. You go.
Wait, what I gathered from Shirley is she's always in control.
Oh yeah.
No one is in control with Shirley MacLaine, not director, producer, writer, actor, or choreographer. Shirley has in her head what she does is the best, the only way to do it. A perfectionist. But I had to tell her once, don't you ever clean your house? I mean, we used to go to her Malibu place, in the colony. Sloppy, broad, newspapers piled all over, shit all over, junk. I said, don't you have a housekeeper? She couldn't care. Couldn't care. She was into writing, out on a limb.
Well, I'll tell you, I directed this big project for APLA, and I asked Shirley if she would be the hostess. And she was fantastic. And, you know, after that, she came up to me and she said, you know, you are just a brilliant director. And I'm so glad that we we met again and on good terms. And, you know, thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me to do this. So it wound up being really great with her.
Oh, she's a professional, you know, she's a total pro. If she can't do it perfectly, she won't do it.
Exactly.
She's on target with everything. Okay, another question. What did you think of Liza Minnelli?
Liza, I never met, but I thought she was always incredible, but I've never had the opportunity to work with her. I met her briefly with Michael Jackson once, but no, I never had the chance to work with Liza. But what an amazing gift that woman has.
It wouldn't have been a happy experience for you.
Oh, I'm sure. Did you know her?
No. I had an encounter with her on the phone, and I just like her intensely.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
She's not the nicest person. She seems to be paranoid and weird. And you know, Jane Russell was angry with me for a bit. Jane Russell wanted Liza Minnelli to come in and raise money for her church because Jane's church needed a roof. So I was planning here in Palm Springs a big event for Jane Russell's church's roof. And, you know, everybody was coming, and Debbie Reynolds said yeah to me. You know, everybody was ready to do it. I called, Jane said, here, call Liza Minnelli, see if she'll do it. So I called up and I said, hi, Liza, this is Ron Russell. I don't know you. How did you get this number? Oh my God. And the phone went up in the air, and some guy grabbed the phone and he said, this number's being changed. Don't you ever call here again. And I said, what the fuck? So I called Jane back. I said, Jane, they're crazy people. She said, oh, I gave you her cellular. I said, well, give me another number. So she gave me her agent. I called up and her agent was on the phone, and I said to him, we would like Liza Minnelli to come into benefit to raise money for Jane Russell's church, blah, blah, blah. He said, yes, she gets $45,000 for the night. I said, it's a benefit. I said, you know, I can get Patti LaBelle for $30,000. He said, yeah, but it's not Liza Minnelli. I said, yeah, but Patti LaBelle can sing. and the agent couldn't wait to call up Liza Minnelli and tell her what I said. She immediately called Jane Russell and told Jane Russell. And Jane Russell called me and said, Ron, what the hell did you say? You can't do that. I said, fuck her. Who does she think she is? I said, you know, Judy Garland is her mother. She's something. Liza Minnelli wouldn't be where she is if it wasn't for Judy Garland. Jane said, I know that, but we really wanted her to come in the show. But she never came in the show. But Debbie Reynolds was a doll. I called Debbie. I said, hi, Debbie, it's Ron. Blah, 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 blah. She said, Ron, I can't talk to you right now. My dog died. I said, oh, I feel bad, Debbie. Call me tomorrow. So I called her the next day. She said, Ron, I can't talk. My daughter's in the car honking. We have to go pick out a coffin for my dog.
Oh.
So hold on.
I love Debbie.
We're going to change the topic.
Wait,
now.
did you know Debbie Reynolds?
I did know Debbie. I did. I worked with her a couple times, and she had a big dance rehearsal space here. And because I have a lot of projects there with Michael Jackson, you know, Debbie was always coming in to meet everybody I was working with. And what a doll. Oh my God. One of the sweetest and funniest ladies. Oh my God.
I love the dirty joke more than anyone. Debbie, a mouth on her. I was in a limo between Joan Rivers and Debbie Reynolds.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. If I didn't pee myself, I'm wishing there was a camera. It was the best show you ever would have seen in your life. Those two were Joan Rivers was breaking in her jokes. So we used to go to the Comedy Store in LA and sit there, just private, you know, only VIP. And then we'd write down what joke we liked and what we didn't like. So Debbie was there one night, and I was sitting next to Debbie. And then when we left, Debbie said, I haven't had a chance to catch up. Come sit in the limo. Now, it's Joan Rivers' limo. She didn't even know that Debbie and I were in there. And Joan came in the limo. Well, what Debbie didn't say to her about her jokes. And Joan had another mouth, a dirty New York mouth. These two girls, they made sailors look like saints. I'm telling you, I wish I had a recording. I cannot even remember the dialogue because I didn't stop laughing. Those
my
two,
God.
they loved each other, but they were bitches.
Wow.
They could
All
bitch
right.
each other.
All right, now we're going to switch the topic. So you guys, Vincent Patterson has a new book that came out. I'm going to show everybody so they can see it. It's called Icons and Instincts by Vincent Patterson with Amy. How do I pronounce her name? Tofty?
Tofty, yeah.
Tofty. With Amy Tofty. It's a great book. It's got pictures. It's all about his
Let me
life
see.
as a choreographer. I want to know and the pictures are really good. Like he's got
Okay.
pictures with everybody.
This is my next flight to New York. I'm going to save it. I only
Good.
I can't, if I'm home, I can't read the phone, the this, the that, interruptions up the ass. When I'm on an airplane, nobody gets me. So this is my next flight to New York book. I will read it from cover to cover.
Tell everybody where they
Wait
get
a minute,
it.
because I'm going to love everything that's in it and all the stars you talk about. I can't wait to read it.
Tell everybody first, where did they get it? Because since she already ordered it, it's supposed to arrive tomorrow.
Well, the easiest place to order it is Amazon.com. That's the easiest place, but it's in a lot of bookstores now. It's at Target. It's, I think, Barnes & Noble. But the easiest place is Amazon.com.
So what did you do with Mel Brooks? Because I love Mel Brooks.
Oh, I love him.
Well,
And his
with
wife.
Mel Brooks, I did a crazy video called "To Be or Not to Be," and it was based on his crazy. He played a Nazi rapper,
Right.
Hitler rapping, and I played one of the Nazi soldiers. And at one point, they strapped me up to a column and whipped me. These three gorgeous ladies whipping me as a Nazi soldier. He was crazy, Mel Brooks. Oh my God, what a great man!
I want to
What a
say
great
something about your book. He also has the most wonderful pictures in color
Yeah, they're great pictures.
as he's talking about his life.
Michael Jackson, Madonna,
I think
Mel
that-
Brooks.
wait, I think this. Listen, I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass, and we're not getting any money for this book. I'm telling you. I'm telling you the truth. It's going to be a good book for you movie buffs out there. You people, my fans who follow me because of Mr. Hollywood bullshit. This is another part of Hollywood. Read it.
Absolutely, I love it.
I can't wait.
I actually.
And I think you're adorable. I love you. I think you're adorable. You are a sweet guy. If I was ever a fabulous dancer, I would have definitely wanted to be taught by you.
Oh, Ron, I would love to choreograph for you.
No, you know what? I know a lot of, look, we both know a lot of people in the business. Some of them are real motherfuckers. I mean, they're not nice at all. They're nasty. They're arrogant. They think who the hell they are. Mr. Blackwell was my best and dearest friend in the world. You know who Mr. Blackwell?
Wow.
10 worst list. I mean, we were like brothers. We hung out. Well, he was a Jew and an Italian from Brooklyn, and that's what I am, an Italian Jew from Brooklyn. So we had that in common. He would talk about, like Sidney Gullaroff, who's a wonderful guy, and the other one who's big. But he gave me such dirt about when I was little. I was about 8 years old, so I didn't know these people. But he would tell me who in the business, who was screwing who was gay. He told me that he had a three-way with Cary Grant and Randolph Scott. So I remember when he told me that, I said, it should have only happened to me. To have a three-way with Cary Grant and Randolph Scott. Oh my God. Anyway, his book is From Rags to Bitches. Everybody go get that. Somewhere you can find it. Very interesting.
So I'm going to go back. What did you do with Paul McCartney?
Paul McCartney, I did a video out in the desert in Arizona. It was called Stranglehold, and what a nice guy. I got to work with three of the Beatles, actually. I worked with Paul, and I worked with Ringo Starr doing an Oldsmobile commercial. I worked with George Harrison doing another crazy video. And, you know, when I was growing up, these guys were my heroes. The Beatles, I just couldn't get enough of the Beatles. I thought every song that they wrote had that knew who I was or something. You know, the lyrics just felt so personal to me. So to get to work with three of them, oh my God, I was ecstatic. Yeah, absolutely great time.
There's a great picture in the book, you guys, too, of Vincent as one of the like zombies in the Thriller video with Michael Jackson. Like, how cool is that?
That he was
like, that's just freaking awesome. So, okay, so let's ask you because you've worked with, I mean, most people that come on here have had like maybe like they're lucky and they've gotten to do one cool, really, really cool, like awesome movie or awesome something. Here, you know, you've got, you know, because I don't know. I think most I don't think many people would disagree that Madonna and Michael Jackson are two of the biggest pop stars in the history of pop music.
Yeah, yet if you ask young people today if they know who Madonna is, they say, huh?
Well, some of them.
It's so sad.
Our demographic, everybody knows Madonna.
I know, but you ask the kids that are 16 and 17 who Michael. Oh, look at just yesterday. Somebody was on the show I was on. I was on Brian's show. And somebody said, my kid just found out that Michael Jackson was black. I mean, where the fuck are these people? You don't know that Michael Jackson is black? I mean, what rock do they live under?
I know.
So here's my question. Because you've worked with the biggest people. Bucket list, is there like an artist or a...
Oh, wait, I didn't go to... Do you have a wife, a husband, a boyfriend?
Husband.
A girlfriend? Oh,
Husband.
how many? This
Married.
is look what I married. The cat dragged in. How many years are you married, Vinny?
We've been January will be 9, but we've been together for 15. So he's a musician and a photographer from Montreal, Canada. And the funny thing was he moved down, and we weren't planning on getting married, but I couldn't get him a visa any other way. So we said, well, what the hell? Let's get married. And it was so funny. We got married, and we had 50 friends and family here, and it changed our relationship so beautifully. The commitment, and I'm just so happy that gay marriage exists here in California, and I wish it would be just everywhere, and people would stop fucking hassling us and let us just live our lives.
You get hassled for it? I don't.
No, he's talking about we used to.
I'm talking about in general.
When I first met Jimmy, of course, wanted to make love. And I said to him, no way. I said, I'm not going to be a backstreet boy. I said, you either marry me or get the fuck away from me. So he said, I'll marry you.
Our 10-year anniversary was last month.
That's the truth. He thought he was going to come to my house because he was with somebody for 25 years. So I knew he was in a relationship. So he thought he was going to come to my house, have sex with me, and then go home. No way, baby. Yeah. I'm from Brooklyn. Us Brooklyn kids are too smart. So I said to him, you want a relationship with me? Get rid of the other one. And he did.
So wait, going back to my question, though, bucket list. Like, is there a certain artist that you're like, oh, my God, I really wish I had an opportunity to work with this person, and who would that person be?
Gaga.
Oh, there you go.
What did he say?
Lady Gaga. Phenomenal.
Lady Gaga. Interesting.
I think so too.
I think she is such a super talent. Not only her music and her voice, but her acting is great. And I just like that she has a broad range of interests. From Tony Bennett to pop being a pop star. I really respect this woman.
And I love the first that she's Italian.
When she first, and you know what? I love the fact that even when she became famous, she was back helping her family in the family restaurant. I mean, I love those kind of things. Those are great stories.
That's how we're brought up. Italians are brought up with 3 things you must do in life: la familia, la familia, la familia. Yeah. The family, the family, the family. That's it. That's our religion.
So wait, okay. So what about
what are you? Irish, Swedish, German? You look.
I'm 4 things basically. I mean, I'm American, but background is 4 things: French, Dutch, English, and Polish. My one grandmother came from Poland, one grandfather came from England, and the other 2 are just apple pie Americans. But that's where the French and the Dutch part came. But that's my background.
I was married for 16 years, and my wife was Dutch, and her name was Hendrika Schurz, which is really a Dutch name. And my children are Italo Dutch. And they're quite beautiful, my 2 daughters.
Also, you guys, if you want to follow...
Dutch are good-looking people.
Follow Vincent on Instagram. His Instagram is @VLPLA. What does that stand for?
Vincent Leonard Patterson, Los Angeles.
Oh, there we go. Oh, so you're in Los Angeles then. Okay, yeah. We're in Palm Springs.
We have to invite you to some of the red carpets. The good one, not the shitty ones. But some of the red carpet events that you may enjoy to meet people and get out there. I like you. I'd like to be a friend.
Cool. Great. Well, also, if I come to Palm Springs, I'd like to meet you guys in person, if I come out to Palm Springs.
I offer my friendship to all I don't offer my friendship to all guests, trust me. But I'd like to meet you one day too. I think you're a sweet guy and pleasant.
Ron.
And you have a very positive outlook. And you are music and dance, and that is something that I've always wanted to be. I've sung in my day on stage, but I find singing to be better than acting, and I've done movies and TV. But no, I find that my most enjoyable moments were when I sang. There's something about music that makes your spirit rise. It really is.
Yeah.
I like love it.
And I see that in you. I see in you the music. I see it.
All these people too. Like we've met many of the people that are on the back.
Yeah, we should have dinner or lunch
of your book. Like Ron's daughter actually worked for Paula Abdul for a while, and we had Tony Basil on the show. And
Paula Abdul. I'm not allowed to say what my daughter said.
But either way, and
well, quickie. Paula was in my daughter's car, nervous, and she pulled all the extensions out of her head and threw them on my daughter's floor of her car. Pulled them out and threw them on the floor.
I like love this. So what about a movie that you would have liked to have choreographed? Is there a movie that you're like, oh my God, like I wish I would have been able to do this?
Like West Side Story.
Well, no, I worked with Spielberg doing Hook. That was really fun. But, I had a great time doing Birdcage and with Mike Nichols and Robin Williams and all of them. That was great. And Evita was so much fun for me. And I really had a great time with Björk and Lars von Trier in Europe doing Dancer in the Dark. That was a great film. And we won the Palme d'Or in Cannes for that.
I never saw that movie. I need to watch that. I never saw that movie.
Is it from the music Dancing in the Dark?
No.
Is it?
It's a really powerful film. And Björk is absolutely incredible. She should have won an Academy Award. And Catherine Deneuve is in it. She's great.
Love her.
Oh, me too.
She was so beautiful.
What a woman. What a woman. And what a sweetheart. I'm telling you, when we made this film, it was so funny. We'd be rehearsing and Lars von Trier would come in with some schnapps and he'd say, come on, everybody, let's go sit outside on the lawn and all have some schnapps. So, there we would be in rehearsals and then sitting out there with Catherine and Björk and Lars and Joel Gray and sitting and having a schnapps and talking and then go back in and rehearse. It was great. It was great.
Well, I knew Burt Reynolds really well because, Burt Reynolds was a buddy of our clique. And I said to Burt one day, what was it like working with Catherine Deneuve? And he said, Ron, she was probably one of the women I could have fallen madly in love with out of all the actresses I worked with, but she wasn't interested. They did have sex, I think he said, but she wasn't interested in Burt Reynolds any further than what it was. And he said he could have fallen in love with her.
Wow. Well, my husband and I the other night watched Repulsion. Did you ever see that with Catherine Deneuve when she was young? It was a Roman Polanski film, like horror film, Repulsion.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so beautiful. I forgot how beautiful she was as a young woman. Beautiful. My God. She
and Verna Lisi looked alike.
Yeah.
And two of them were magnificent looking.
Yeah.
I mean, Verna Lisi was drop dead, and so is Catherine. I mean, there are some women who are Grace Kelly. There are certain, I've never met Grace Kelly or Audrey Hepburn, and Blackwell knew them well. And I would pump Blackwell to get stories out of them. And I said, I would have loved to have met Grace Kelly. Oh, my God, I adored her as a young fella. And he said, you know what? She was nothing like what she portrayed. He said she'd bang the gas station attendant if he was cute. But Audrey Hepburn, he said, what you saw on the screen is what you got in person. Did you ever meet either of them? I mean, you're too young.
Yeah. I met Elizabeth Taylor, though, again through Michael Jackson.
She met
Elizabeth Taylor through Michael Jackson.
Oh, Elizabeth Taylor. I worked for Elizabeth Taylor.
What did you think of her?
I founded Have a Heart years ago, which was a benefit for AIDS, and it was a drag review of all drag queens that sung live, and we raised money for Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth was with Amfar, and she told me the president was making $100,000 a year, and she was leaving, and she was forming her own, which was the Elizabeth Taylor Foundation for AIDS Research. So I then got the troupe to donate all our money to Elizabeth Taylor's fund. And that's how come I was able to be at affairs and stuff with her. She was a tiny little thing and silly, very naive. I found this, a woman that was so sophisticated and worldly to be so childlike and naive. And she giggled. Her laugh was a giggle. She giggled. But I saw her here in Palm Springs for the last time. She was in a wheelchair. She was deathly ill. Didn't even look like her. And they were giving her an award. And they shut the lights. The theater was dark. When the lights came up, she was standing by the mic. Then, before she left, the theater went dark. They put her in the wheelchair and took her away. And I thought that was a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
But yes, I did like Elizabeth Taylor. And never call her Liz. She did not like called Liz at all.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know.
She would correct you.
Because so Mannequin, I think, is one of like the greatest like 80s movies. Kim
It was a
Cattrall,
fantasy.
Andrew McCarthy. Like, how was it working on that? And how were they? Like, I met Andrew McCarthy once.
They were both fun. Kim Cattrall and Andrew, they were great. I had a great time. And I'm from Philadelphia, so we shot it at Wanamaker's in Philadelphia. So it was like going back home, you know, and it was, we had such a good time. And you know, they were really young. We were all really young, and we just, you know, hung out and, you know, had some drinks after we would shoot, and they'd come to my hotel room and I'd hang out with me, and I'd go to their hotel room, different ones, and hang out with them. And we had a great time. In fact, I remember one time with Andrew, the Academy Awards were coming on. So he came to my hotel, and what we did, we put plastic over the television set, and we had a bucket of water balloons, and we put plastic on the floor. And when we hated what happened, we threw a water balloon at the TV.
That's so much fun. Actually, we lived in Doylestown for 5 years before we moved here. So
I love Pennsylvania. It's such a beautiful terrain. But I want to tell our audience something. You hear Vincent and I and Jimmy speaking about celebrities. The sad part of our business is it's a moment only. We meet them, we work with them, and then never see them again. And that's the sad part. No, but that's a sad part of our business. We're not best friends. We are best friends for the moment while we're working together. And then after it's over, we all go our own ways. And does that depress you sometime? It gets me a little bit.
Well, I actually kind of liked it that way, to be honest with you. I like to have my personal life, you know, and, you know, I feel like having worked with one person or two people Michael Jackson, I worked for 18 years on and off, Madonna, 11 years on and off, you know. So I like to keep it, I like to keep the distance a little bit, because, you know, what I found was if I tried to get too close, then they thought I was going to be like other ass kissers that surrounded them all. You know what I mean? They thought I wanted something. So I prefer to keep it a business, but a very friendly, personal business situation, so that when we did get together, we had a really good time, and they knew that I was there to work. You know, I didn't want anything from them other than creativity, you know. So I always tried to keep it, and I liked having my own privacy, you know. So
I think that works.
Hear you, Ron.
I'm not a
I
fan.
totally hear you.
I am not a fan of starfuckers.
Yeah.
You know, I know some here in Palm Springs that wangle their way up the asses of somebody that's famous because it makes their ego feel good. I was never an ass kisser or a starfucker.
Oh, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
He's only outed one person ever in his whole life. So we've been together over 10 years. And only one person ever I saw him get excited about meeting. And we meet a lot of people because we do a lot of fun stuff, just like you do. And the only one was Kathy Sledge from Sister Sledge. We went to an event. She was there, and he's screaming across the room, "Jimmy, come here, come here, come here!" And never. I mean, we meet like really big people, and it's because of "We Are Family," and it's such an iconic, you know, gay community song.
Because back in the days of Stonewall, when gay people were all over the place and being beaten and thrown out of apartments and fired from their job and called degenerates and mentally ill people. I used to tell everybody, we have to unite. We have to get together. We are family. And that song was out at the time. So to me, we are family. I could cry from it because I could right now, because it reminds me of all the people I lost to AIDS. So many wonderful, dear, close friends that I grew up with. And it's a song that means more to me than any other song in the world. So when meeting Kathy, I hugged her and I kissed her and I thanked her.
And now we're friends with her.
Oh, we're good friends. And I thanked her. I said, thank you so much. On behalf of all the gay people in the world, thank you, because that's become our national anthem. We are family, gay people. We are family. And we refer to each other as family. If I meet somebody, a gay woman, I'll say, you know, you have a husband? She'll say, oh, no, Ron, we're family. And I love that. Very
I
happy.
love that song. You know, I suggested that song to Mike Nichols to use as the closing song of Birdcage, the movie Birdcage, because I love that song so much. So I'm right there with you, Ron.
Oh, that's awesome.
It has such a meaning.
What a great movie that is,
and let me
too.
tell you something about Kathy Sledge. The Sledge sisters, I've met them all, except not the one that died. I didn't meet her. Those girls are the most perfect human beings. They were raised by a religious mother who taught them all the right things.
Manners and
about being
morals.
about being equal to the white people, about being decent black people, about being God-loving women. I love them. The Sledge sisters are fabulous.
Absolutely. We worked with Kathy, and we worked with who's the other one? Oh my, that's so funny. I can't think of her name. She's been on the show a bunch of times.
Now you threw me.
Yeah, I messed up. But anyway, hold on. Let's go back because we're almost out of time.
Yeah, and the other one is my favorite that you can't remember.
Kim Sledge.
Kim Sledge.
We did an
Have you
event.
ever met the Sledge sisters?
No, I've never met them. Never.
Oh, what you do? It'll be a great pleasure for you. They're just lovely.
Great.
So you guys, I want to go back. So first of all, follow Vincent on his Instagram. It's VLPLA. Are you on Twitter or any of the other ones? Because I only did
No, I'm just on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Vincent Patterson, artist, and on Instagram at VLPLA. So my name.
I have to ready somebody and friend you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys,
because I have 5,000.
So
you
you
must
guys
have 5,000 too.
So you guys follow him on Instagram. This is the book. We want to like everybody to go out and buy the book. It's called Icons and Instincts by Vincent Patterson. It's really a cool book. I read like half of it. I didn't get it all finished, but it's very, very interesting. The pictures are fabulous. And you've seen by having him on the show that he's a great talker. He's got great stories. And so you guys will love the book.
What I love most about him is he keeps up with me. Do you know how wonderful that is? Most people I talk to, they fall asleep because they don't know who I'm talking about. Isn't it wonderful to say to this man, what'd you think of Sid Charisse? And he didn't go, huh? Who?
It's so funny too, because everybody in the chat room saying you don't look at like they think you're 40, which if you know those people, you're probably older than 40, so you're doing really good.
Well, no, I clocked his age because he said that he was growing up when the Beatles came out. The Beatles came out in 1960 because I was driving up from Florida and I had on my radio, Let Me Hold Your Hand. I was 21 years old. So he had to be 12, 14 years.
I'm 72. I'm 72. Yeah.
Oh my God, you don't look anywhere. He's 82 and you're 72. That's awesome.
Hey,
you look fabulous.
Baby, us gay guys don't age. What do you think?
We take care of ourselves. We take care of ourselves.
Gay men are gorgeous.
No sugar. No sugar.
No sugar.
And you're freaking the people in the chat room out, I am sure, because they all thought you were like 40s to mid 40s. So good for you. Wait, no, take it. You have a great smile. You have a great smile.
That's what I like about it. No sugar, a happy marriage, and he's got a wonderful career. He's got a wonderful career.
And a dog.
Oh, what kind of dog?
We have a pit. We have a pit bull, but she's the sweetest little girl. We adopted her, and we were really nervous about her, but she was about to be killed, and we took her. She was just 6 months old, and oh my God, her name's Zucchini. Her name's Zucchini, and she's absolutely adorable. She's going to be 3 in January.
They were going to kill a 6-month-old puppy. Are you serious?
Because it's a pit bull. People are afraid
I
of
don't
pit
give
bulls.
a shit.
That's stupid though, because
Who
pit
was-
bulls are only mean if you train them to be mean. I've
Yeah.
met beautiful pit bulls.
We
We have
have-
a friend, Lorraine, who has a whole bunch of them.
We
She
rescued
is so
three-
sweet.
We have-
It made me laugh, Ron. It made me laugh when Astro was giving you all those kisses, because that's Zucchini. She'll be laying outside and she'll get up and come in the house just to give us a kiss and then go back outside again. You know, oh my God.
You
Little
guys ever
pup-
did you ever get to Palm Springs?
I haven't been there in a long time, but I'll tell you, if I do, I'd love to meet you guys in person.
Come
Absolutely.
over for dinner. I'm a good cook, and I'll have some of our celebrity friends that live here over too. I'm sure you might
Great.
know. Do you know
Great.
Ruta Lee? Do you know Ruta Lee?
I know who she is, but I never met her. But I know who she is, Ruta. Yeah.
She's wonderful. She is another fabulous actress. You know,
Does
fun-
she still have that red hair?
Yes.
her hairdo is the same. She looks the
Ah.
same. I told her, I said, Ruta, you know, I see you on Hogan's Hero when you're young, you know, the repeats. And that broad hasn't changed. And her personality is still explosive and funny and wild.
I love it.
Wow.
Also, B. Claudia and Nicholas are both there. Everybody in the chat room saying they loved you and enjoyed you. But
I think he's a
B.
swell
Claudia
guy,
really
too.
said thank you for the shout out. So
I
they
think
love you.
I'd like to meet
Oh.
you. Now,
Absolutely.
Jimmy and I have friends in the business that we like. A lot we don't like too, you know. Some people we like everybody. Some of them I'd like, if I could get away with murder, I would. I mean, you've met some of those bitches in your life too. I'm sure
Been there,
that.
done that.
Has anybody ever said to you, "Oh, Vincent, you have 2 left feet"?
Oh no way.
Yes, actually, yes, they did.
I know those
I tell
bitches.
that story in my book. You know, when I was first starting to dance, I was staying with this one dance teacher for about 6 months, and I thought somebody told me about a man who was teaching, and I thought, oh, I'll go take a ballet class from a man. This was a woman I had, so I went to take the class, and the man said to me, I was halfway in the ballet class, and he said, "How old are you?" And I said, 24, and he said, "Get out of my class. You have no talent. You're never going to do anything. You'll never make it in this business. Get out of my class." And I left his class.
Was he wrong? If anybody ever,
Yeah, there you go.
yes, good for you. If anybody ever said to me, "You have 2 left feet," I'd say possibly, but what's in between them is fabulous. That's the answer. You know,
Great find.
years and years ago, there was a place called the Peppermint Lounge in New York.
Oh,
And
yeah.
my friend Arlene and I would hang out at the Peppermint Lounge, and we could do the twist. You know, those dances we did good. And one night, Arthur Murray and his wife came into the Peppermint Lounge because it was a celebrity hangout. And my friend Evelyn, a gorgeous blonde with a pair of knobs like this. I mean, she had tits that went across the room, gigantic. And the old man, Fred, went after her and he wanted to dance with her. And he said, "Show me the twist." He was salivating at the mouth because she was twisting. And those babies were dancing and going all over. Now, the wife was hitting on my friend Arlene. So how do you like that for a little bit of a scoop? Arthur Murray's wife, I think, was a little bit gay because she was hitting on my friend Arlene.
Do you watch? I know you were on a TV show, like a dance TV show, Step Up and Dance or something. Do you watch like those, like so you think you can dance and stuff like that? Do you like to watch that or no?
No, not so much anymore. You know, every once in a while I will. But no, you know, I don't. I'm not really into those dance competition shows. I'm a movie freak, actually. You know, we watch 1 or 2 movies every single night of the year. We're just crazy about films. You know,
We watch a lot too.
I think you're above those dance TV shows. Those are so crappy. You know, I
some
don't
of
think
them are. I like it. What I like about it is that it exposes Americans to dance, you know, and I think that's an important thing because dance was lost in our culture until kind of the 80s when MTV brought it back. And I think that these kind of shows at least keep it in America's nature, and it makes it present and upfront, and it's a great art form. And so I'm happy that those dance shows exist, you know. They don't interest me as much, but I'm really glad that they exist, and a lot of people enjoy them. And you know, the more people that got up and danced, they'd be healthier, they'd be happier, you know. So I'm all for it.
we have to give credit where it's due. back in the 1940s, before black people invented or designed the jitterbug, no one danced. They did a waltz. Then the white people started to do jitterbugging and mambos, and the Latin people brought in cha-cha. Yeah. Then the culture began dancing. But when we left it up to the wasps, it was a waltz. And you could fall asleep, doing the waltz. So I think we have to realize that the black culture, the Hispanic culture, brought everybody out to dance. Because I know one thing. When I hear La Bamba, I become a slut. A dancing slut. I hump, I bump, and I screw on the dance floor. It's so sexy. Woo! You go berserk, baby. That. You go nutso. Woo, 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 woo.
All right, so everybody, please get Vincent's book. Like I said, it's Icons and Instincts, and follow him on Instagram. It's at VLPLA. We want to thank you for coming on the show, and we will see you soon.
We'll see you, Vincent.
And good luck with everything. Congratulations on your success.
And thank you for giving us a wonderful show.
Oh, thank you for what a wonderful, wonderful morning. I really appreciate it, you guys. I hope we get to meet soon. I really do.
We will. Listen, I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. If I don't like you, I just move on.
But, he's not lying.
But I'm from Brooklyn, where we're tough.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Vincent.
Take care, Vinny.
Bye-bye.
What a sweetheart of a guy. I would love to be friends with him. He's so full of my Hollywood that I miss so desperately.
All right, you guys, now we're going to bring on our next guest. And go ahead and bring him in. Let's make sure we can hear him. Hello, Galen. How you doing?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You didn't write your last name in there.
Yeah. We'll see if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But
yeah. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented. I know he's an actor. I don't know what else he does, but we're going to find out. Galen Howard, hello, and welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Long time no see.
Yeah,
right. I know. We run in the same circles. I think we see too much of each other. But
so this is my cool, outrageous man about town close. I know, Ron Russell, but I'm doing it for the audience. So say hi.
Hi. Nice to have met you.
And then we have a chat room full of people. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hello.
There you go. So everybody, we met Galen officially only like for Halloween Hotness.
Yes.
He was also at That's a Wrap premiere, Marcel's Waltz movie last week.
Right.
And we met him at Halloween Hotness, and he was with James Duvall and Ozzy Capri.
Yes.
In our Clown Motel movies with us. He's a really cool guy. So welcome to the show. We're happy to have you. And how's life? Everything good?
More or less. I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of things, many of us don't have very little right to complain.
That's right. So
when people ask me, how's it going? How's life? I give them the Brooklyn answer. Mm-hmm. Same shit, just different flies.
Yeah. I was raised in California, very much had the California experience. So I started therapy when I was 10. So, So for most of my life, when people asked me how I was doing, it took me a while to realize that they didn't have an hour.
You're very funny. You're a dramatic actor as well as a comic.
He's a character actor and funny as shit. So first of all, we have one friend who's in the chat room, and she promoted the fact that you were coming on the show a lot. She's a big fan. If you could just say hi to Dawn Hinton.
Hey, Dawn. Yes, she's Dawn is so sweet. Yes, such an advocate for indie film and working actors like us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's one of the good ones for sure.
Dawn, how you feeling, baby?
Yeah, she says she's feeling better, but she's still in a lot of pain. And she just wrote, "You're a brilliant actor." In the chat room. So one thing I want to
she's had some problems and she's still in pain. I'm wishing your pain away, Dawn. Work with me. Wish it away.
Yes. Yeah. So first thing I want to bring up is the fact that, and so I used to live in Florida, and I auditioned for a Justin Timberlake video, and I didn't get it. But because I believe that "Can't Stop the Feeling" is Justin Timberlake's probably biggest.
It was, which is certainly saying something. But yeah, I mean, it was for someone who had been in the who had been at it for 20 years. I mean, yeah, that was his, that was, one of his, one of his biggest hits. It was the summer hit of that year. And
I hadn't watched the video in a long time, but there's a girl who moved to California before we moved to California, who I was in a bunch of movies with in Florida. Her name is Christy, and she's like the girl who that. So we were in movies together and commercials together and stuff.
Cool. Yes. Oh, she's lovely. Yeah.
She's in it, and I didn't know you then, so I rewatched it the other day. You're the donut guy. She's the laundry guy.
She's in the laundromat. Yes. Everyone has their own little environments. It was very cool. It was such a cool video.
What a cool thing, though, to be like a main character, like in Justin Timberlake, who again is one of the biggest, icons in music. And what a great movie! I mean, what a great video, and what a great.
Absolutely.
The video is great. The song is great.
Absolutely.
So did you have to audition?
They wanted me to be in your video when you did the donuts. They wanted me to be a gangster and shoot the holes in the donuts.
So did you have to audition for that? Like, how did you get that?
Yeah. No, it was an audition. How a lot of those auditions go. You line up in the you go to one of the casting offices. You line up. You do the thing. For this one, because it's kind of they want kind of regular people in a like a real life environment. They had us audition like outside of a Starbucks, and so they basically just had you basically just dancing on the street, on the street corner, and just to really get the sense of how you were in a real environment, to kind of really to really add to it, and it worked, and it was very cool. So from that, they just kind of brought us in. They really wanted that kind of everyday people. They didn't want to emphasize like, oh, these are actors, and that sort of thing. They wanted it to feel like real people.
No, you look like you could have worked at a movie. You look like you could have worked at a donut shop.
Jimmy told me that you're on a TV series.
He's done a whole bunch of TV series.
Yeah, I mean, I've done like a lot of like walk-ons, couple episodes here and there, that sort of thing. Yeah, but been able to do some very cool stuff.
You're basically though like.
Wait, I was going to ask him that question. What is it exactly you play mostly? What do they book you for?
Oh, it's all sorts of things. I mean, a lot of like certainly character kind of parts. I play a lot of like kind of offbeat, kind of kooky, weird, maybe a little creepy, depending on the show, that sort of thing. Working class, kind of characters. Yeah, a lot of kind of working class, or again, kind of. Kind of middle class to low, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, because they always cast me as a mafia. Always.
He's always a cop or a mafia person.
And I would like to break out of it. Would you like to do some I'm too old to be a romantic lead, but would you ever like to do a romantic lead thing?
Yeah, I mean, I
think you get to piss Charlize Theron.
I mean, Seth Rogen did it, I mean.
Yeah, that's right. Seth.
Galen, listen, naked in bed with Charlize Theron kissing.
Actually, I think that you're.
No answer. Look at him.
I think you're.
Oh boy, yeah. Oh boy, wasn't ready for this. Yeah.
I actually,
I mean, hey, if we have an intimacy coordinator, if everything's copacetic, if it feeds the storyline, I'm an artist.
Yeah, but in my young days, if I was in bed with Charlize Theron kissing, I would accidentally let her see it, and maybe she would be interested then in going further.
That's hilarious.
I think Charlize is the most beautiful thing today in Hollywood. Her and she and Angelina.
She's incredible. Yeah, from what I've seen, just incredibly grounded, down to earth person. He has an incredible sense of humor. I mean, that's what you want. Yeah,
Definitely. And Angelina's the same way. I know Angelina Jolie, and she's a darling person.
Right.
Huh?
So wait, let me brag.
Yeah, I think you'd mentioned that before. That's very cool.
Let me brag a little bit, you guys. So some of the things besides the music video for Justin Timberlake, he's been in music videos for Weezer, Train, Panic at the Disco. I met them in Florida. They were really cool.
Oh, they're
Smashing
very cool.
Pumpkins, Johnny Halliday, some of the TV shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the Book of Boba Fett. It's Boba Fett, right?
Yeah.
Boba Fett, Henry Danger, which is like a cool kids show, which we know people that have been on that. Physical. Some of the movies, Children of Sorrow, which we've had Bill Oberst Jr. and
Bill's
been on our show, and Hannah Levian's been on our show.
Yes, Hannah
Jessica
and Bill
Morris has been on our show. Jim Tavares, Red Evil with Jamie Bernadette was on our show. Suicide Watch, Badass Monster Killer, Born Guilty with Roseanne Arquette. Xander Berkeley's a good friend of mine.
Oh, cool.
American Nightmares, you guys. This is a really good movie, actually. Danny Trejo, Nichelle Nichols,
and James Duvall.
James Duvall,
James Duvall's in there. Yeah. Oh, great cast. Jay Moore. Will
Guglielmi's been on our show. Nick Principe's been on our show. Chris Kattan, Vivica Fox, Brendan Sexton III, who I think is probably one of the most underrated actors ever.
I definitely agree. And they even had Clarence Williams III. They brought him. It came out of retirement to do that movie.
Yeah, and Eddie Steeples was on our show. Yes. Like we had a lot of cool people from the Kansas Bowling. Saving Flora with Jenna Ortega, Tom Arnold, Massey Ferlin. We met at a bunch of events. David Arquette was.
Love Massey, yeah.
I stressed David Arquette when I was a celebrity clothing designer. Terry Moore is in that movie.
That's a buddy.
Yes, she had a bit part. Tom Arnold and I had the majority of our scenes together.
Were you in any of Terry Moore's scenes?
Wasn't it? She had a bit part that I think might have been cut from the final edit, but. But I had almost all my scenes were with I think actually all my scenes were with Tom Arnold. I played kind of his foil, his kind of sidekick character.
Right. So with all that work, you must have accumulated quite a bit of money, and now you can afford to buy bacon at $16 a half pound.
Oh, I mean,
rich to go food shopping today.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, you know how it is. After you take taxes. Agent commission. And sometimes you have you have enough for a pair of shoes.
Well, no. I know. Listen, my last movie I was on, they gave me $21 million for my part. I started in the film, and out of the $21 million, I went to the supermarket. I came home with $38.
Right.
So wait, we have another.
You had $5 million when you went to the supermarket, and then you came home with $38 remaining.
It should only happen. I should get 21.
Right. You got some of those like gold-plated donuts and stuff.
No, I'm in those low-budget horror films. I do not get 21 million.
Right? Exactly.
I'm looking. I get $21.
Wait. I got two. I have a couple other ones. So I have Moan Manor with Heather. Is Heather Morris?
Oh, Moon Manor. Yes, with Deborah Wilson, Lou Taylor Pucci. That was a great movie.
Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake has a cameo in there. Yeah. Richard Reilly.
Richard Reilly. So how was Heather Morris? I think Heather Morris was the what made Glee work. I think she was the funniest. I think she's freaking hilarious. Besides being a great dancer, she's like so hilarious. Was she like nice?
I didn't have any scenes with her. I think they shot her scene. She had like one major scene that they shot separately. But I mainly worked with I worked with Deborah Wilson and Richard Reilly, a little bit with Lou Taylor Pucci.
Deborah was very nice.
Yeah, we met Deborah Wilson.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
She's
a sweetheart. Yeah, she has more energy than anyone combined.
And you just did a film with one of our friends, Pat Kuznati, How to Kill Your Coworkers and Get Away with It.
Kuznati, Pat. Yes,
with Michael Pare and David.
Michael Pare and Brink Stevens. Yeah.
Dave is a buddy, but Pat calls me General, and I call him Sergeant because we played those parts in a movie.
Oh, fun!
And Pat, I said to him, I said, you're like diarrhea. I said, you're all over. Don't you ever stop working? He works morning, night, and noon. This movie, I mean, he's in 100 million, and he's the most delightful guy.
He's a very, very nice, very, very enthusiastic, and really, Dave really hustles to make his stuff, yeah.
And Dave Bailey, I give him the ultimate compliment. I said, if I had a son, I wished he would be like you, Dave.
Oh.
Dave is the most honest, terrific, generous, kind, loving man. I think Dave Bailey is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. You worked with him.
Yes, on that film, yeah.
So like, do you do stand up? Like, how did you get into all of this? Because like you're like I just in talking with you at the events and stuff, just the things that come out of your mouth are like funny. You're like Ron, you know, like you say shit and it's just fucking funny. And you know, and you do a lot of even your horror movies. A lot of your horror movies are kind of like horror comedy movies.
Yeah, I usually kind of bring, you know, whatever I'm doing, I usually bring a comedic element to what I'm doing. Yeah.
So do you do stand up?
No, you know, I had always considered it. I think, you know, the people I know who do stand up, I mean, just give it everything they have, and it's like it's one of those where it's like you have to go all in to that, and you know, I have such respect for that. I feel like, you know, after a while, I kind of figured I had considered it, but it's like, you know, after a while out here, you kind of have to stay in your lane. I think if I'm going to put, you know, that level of creative energy into something, I'm probably going to, like, you know, I'm more likely to just, you know, write my own stuff, write my own scripts, that sort of thing. Because, you know, the stand-ups are, you know, they're just they're going to the open mics, you know, three, four nights a week, you know,
right.
They're just, you know, that level of commitment, you know, and then going on the road and everything. It's just it's a whole separate lifestyle.
And it's the most boring thing to do because you're all scripted and you have to do the same jokes over and over again and make them seem fresh and for the first time.
Right. You do the same stuff. Yeah.
And it's difficult to have that energy every time with that same stupid joke.
Right. You know, I mean, there are comedians who've been doing some of the same material for, you know, 20 years, you know, and it's like, how do you make that fresh? You know?
So how did you get involved in all of this in the first place? You grew up in California. You're going to the therapist. And what did the therapist say? Yeah, go.
Sure. You know, I had parents who were really very supportive, really supported my my creative interests. And so, you know, I was like kind of a shy kid, you know, didn't make friends easily, but also was like very imaginative, very expressive. So, you know, I had parents who were thinking like, okay, well, you know, go where you're the happiest. So, you know, I was taking acting classes as a kid and that sort of thing. And it was just, you know, the place where where I felt at home, you know.
What was your first big role?
Oh man, I mean, it was. I did a lot of growing up. I did a lot of like, you know, theater, you know, community and professional theater and that sort of thing. Probably, I mean, like one of the first, probably one of the. I mean, I did some independent film, you know, up in Northern California, but probably the first big thing I did was Children of Sorrow with Bill Oberst. That was probably the first film I did here in LA, and you know, that got picked up by Lionsgate and. Yeah, that's probably one of the first big things I did.
He's a great. I mean, Bill Oberst is a cool guy. We had him on our show back when we lived in Pennsylvania, and he was super, super cool.
Just a sweetheart. Yeah,
and he's a great actor also. So, do you prefer to do comedies then?
You know, it really depends on the character. It depends on the script and the character and the story. You know, I definitely. Comedy, you know, comedic characters and comedic scenes come naturally to me, but you know, I love doing both.
Well, I read a script not too long ago that was sent to me, and they said, Ron, you're going to want to play this part. It's for you. You will be hysterical in it because you're a funny guy. I read half of the script. I didn't even smile. I found nothing funny in that script at all. This person that wrote it really didn't know how to write comedy. So if I had
it's hard to write comedy. It's hard to
if I had to do a movie with a scripted comedy, I wouldn't do it. But if I could go out there free flight and do as I do, I would do it. But to do somebody else's jokes, no way, because half of them stink.
It's tough, man. It's it's tough to find, everyone's humor is a little different, and so
No, but they called the movie a comedy. It was the furthest thing from a comedy. How many movies have we seen that are called comedies?
Yeah, we watch a lot of comedies, but
And they're not funny.
really that funny.
There's nothing funny about them.
It's more funny just sitting here talking.
Right.
Funny,
Continuity. It's all
right. I don't. What I don't like is when comedy becomes mean spirited. There was a trend for a while of a very kind of like nasty, mean spirited kind of punching down kind of comedy, and that never appeals to me. I think comedy should elevate.
I think that
well, Joan Rivers did it with her husband. Knocking her husband.
Yeah, it wasn't purely. There was you felt the affection there.
She made fun of her boobs herself.
She made fun of. Well, yeah, she made fun of herself. She made fun of everything.
And so did Phyllis Diller.
It was all self-deprecating humor. It doesn't have to be like nice, but there's a heart to it. And I think sometimes, if comedy gets so mean-spirited, you lose the heart.
Well, I agree with that.
Right, back in my day, they were called put-down comics.
Right, Don Rickles,
Don Rickles was the king of put-down.
Of course.
I mean, he put everybody down, and everybody loved it.
It doesn't matter who you. And he played it equal. It didn't matter who you were, he would put you down.
Who are some of your favorite comics that you like?
Oh man, like right now, trying to think who's out right now. I grew up, loving like the classics like George Carlin and Bill Hicks and people like that. Trying to think who's out right now.
I like that guy. What's his name? Lewis something.
I enjoyed Joan.
Jim Gaffigan. I like Jim Gaffigan.
Oh, Jim Gaffigan's, yeah.
Well, Joan Rivers made me laugh. She's the only one that really made me laugh was Joan Rivers. Because sometimes she hit a joke that really was funny. Not always, but every now and then she knocked one out that was a blaster.
So wait, so who are some? I like to ask this to all the actors, like male and female bucket list. Here's a two-part question: like a male and a female actor you haven't worked with that you think would be fun to work with, and then if you could have been in any movie that's ever been made in history, what movie would you have liked to have been in? And start with the actors. Easier.
Oh, well, I'd love to work with Steve Buscemi.
Love him, Steve Buscemi. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I would. Yeah, he's
actually, in a lot of ways, you're a lot like him. Like he's in a lot of serious movies, and he's the comedic person.
Right.
In serious
right.
movies. A lot of ways,
he was definitely his kind of personality. I definitely
have that sort of personality.
Right. It can be a little weaselly, that sort of thing.
No, you could play
like in Con Air when he's the guy who eats people. He's so funny in Con Air. He's so funny, and he's very
funny.
You could play his younger brother.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. It'd be.
Anybody out there that's producing one of his films, younger brother, call him.
Right. Exactly.
Actually, I think you should be getting the Seth. I think you should be getting the Seth Rogen roles because, like, I've watched a bunch of your stuff. I think you're incredibly funny. I think that I think it's going to happen. Because Seth Rogen's getting older.
You're funny on our show
because you're very funny. So okay, so what about a female actress you would like to work with?
Oh man, I love what, especially what she's done recently. The turn she's taken recently. I love what Jean Smart has been doing.
Oh my God, you watch Hacks?
Oh.
Hacks is so great.
So good.
Good. I love her. I think she is got the best timing. Her facial expressions and her joke lines go together. I love and adore her. I love her show. I think she's one of the best. We actually
thought they should, if they were, when they remade Sex and the City and Kim Cattrall wasn't going to be in it, that we were like talking, saying Jean Smart is the one who should have been in there because she could have done it, and she's almost really so good for it. But she is so great, and we love Hacks.
Oh
Hacks,
yeah,
is it coming back?
Yeah, I think they're. Yeah, it's
it's coming back.
It did season. Yeah, are they doing a season 3? I'm not sure.
I think they are doing one. I
Oh,
think
good,
they
good.
I
Yeah,
would
that
love
show's
to-
so
What
good.
a good one though. I would love to work with her or
I
produce
would
something
love.
she's in.
I would love to work.
'Cause she's fabulous.
With
Okay,
her.
so a movie that you would have liked to have been in, that you any movie in the history.
Oh
what would you
man,
say?
any movie. Let's let's see. Oh man, I mean, if we're going,
You
if
can
we're
do
going,
different genres if you want. If you
yeah,
want,
if we're going of all, well, if we're going of all time, I mean, I'm a big Robert Altman fan. I mean, if I could have been in something like Nashville, one of those like big ensemble films that he did. I mean, the way that he, created kind of this immersive environment and just all of the different characters that overlapped. I mean, they're in the such real characters. I love the kind of the kind of stuff he did, and would use the way he used like actors like Shelley Duvall and people like that. Yeah, I mean, I loved what he would do. I would have loved to work with someone like that, with someone like Robert Altman, who was so so kind of immersive with his actors.
so what about?
I want to give him a silly question.
Okay.
This is a silly question. If you became as famous as Brad Pitt, would you say on a set of a movie to all the people working with you, please do not look at me and do not speak to me?
Oh God, no, that's ridiculous.
But there are many that do that. You're not allowed.
I know. There are. Yeah, no. But I know there are. But I can't imagine. I can't
I would
imagine.
love to be on a set with one of them, and you know what I'd say? Who the fuck do you think you are? I don't care if they kick me off the movie. It would give me great satisfaction, but the press hear that. I'd have photographers and a press. People watching me say, who the fuck do you think you are?
I think there's less tolerance for that kind of behavior now.
Oh no, that's not true.
We have a friend who used to be
know
a dancer,
stories
and
that make your hair stand on end.
She was like in Jennifer Lopez music videos, and she got into fucking trouble, and it's unfortunate, but
it is. I mean, I'm sure it still happens. I mean, I think there's a little more accountability now. I think some of that behavior, gets out as it looked as fun, isn't as tolerated nearly as much, but it still happens.
Yes, you're right.
I'm definitely doing it on my next film. I'm going to say to everybody in the film, do not talk to me. Do not look at me when I'm working.
So how was it being on a couple of episodes of the Book of Boba Fett?
Oh, well, it was. I mean, it was amazing. For one thing, because it was the first thing I did since after the pandemic. I mean, it was that was in December 2020. So I mean, I was grateful to be working at all and to be working on a Star Wars show. I mean, that was incredible.
When you Google your name, that's one of the first pictures that comes up.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I think for anybody, you're going to be if you do Star Wars, that's the first thing you're going to be known for,
Absolutely.
Yeah. But no, it was incredible. I mean, it was bizarre to be working during the pandemic. Everyone had their face covered up. I'm working with Jon Favreau and Robert Rodriguez, and I can only see the upper half of their face.
Yeah.
Well, the people at Star Wars contacted me. They wanted me to star in the film, but I was going to New Jersey at the time.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I said, I'm sorry, but I'm in New Jersey.
Wait, are you a Star Wars? Are you a Star Wars fan? Like, do you watch Star Wars stuff? Like,
I grew up on Star Wars. One cool thing, and my father was did kind of sculptural design freelance, and so one of his first gigs in California was he worked at Lucas Ranch in the art department on Return of the Jedi. So
that's awesome.
He sculpted a number of the helmets for the costume department on that film. So
did you ever see? There's a movie, I forgot the name of it. It had a bunch of fun people, kind of like you in it. You would have been good in it.
Mm-hmm.
Where all the people I forgot the name of it, but they like go to break into the Lucas Ranch. Comedy. I think Veronica Martin. I think it had big people. It was a really cute movie. I could have seen you in something like that, actually.
Okay. I think I know which. Yeah. Was it which one was it? Was it like was it was it Fanboys or
Yeah, Fanboys. That's it.
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
what a
yeah.
good memory you've got. Wow. That's
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. No, I was trying to remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds right. Yeah, that's
I
yeah,
couldn't see you
exactly.
doing that.
Yeah, all
So,
the yeah, kind of the yeah, with all like the cosplayers and all of that. Yeah, it's very cool.
so we met you and you were with James Duval. I actually met James the first time about 20 years ago in Florida at a convention. He's super cool. So how did you guys meet?
I think we had it was actually, through like the magic of social media. I think that was one of the first times we hung out like for extended period, but we were I think we were aware of each other's work. We have a number of filmmakers in common that we've worked with, and so yeah, I think we just we were both big fans. We're just big fans of each other's work, and and James is just such a nice, genuine guy.
He really is. I mean, he's a really cool. Every time we've
Such
seen
a
him.
such a sweet guy, and has such an interesting work history in his career, and so humble.
I was all happy just because I haven't seen him in like a long time, and we have him set to be in a movie. I'm trying to get financing, but I'm not the one who contacted him, and so I haven't seen him in a very long time. And he knew who I was, and I was like, oh, cool. He remembered. I haven't seen him in 15 years. He knew who I was. He's really on the ball and fun, and you're really on the ball and fun. And
everybody knows who Jimmy is. Go to any post office. There's a sign on the wall: $1,000 reward wanted. So
no, I mean, Jimmy knows how to have fun. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yes. So you also did another movie, Give Me an A. Did you get to do any scenes with Virginia Madsen? Because he loves Virginia Madsen.
We didn't have I didn't have any scenes directly with her, but we were but I did get to meet her and speak to her. We hung out in the green room for a bit, and she's just lovely. She's really cool.
And she's built like a brick shit house.
Yeah, no. She's I
have to try and get her on the show.
She's really stacked. Well, we had her ex-husband.
Yeah, we had her ex-husband on many years ago. We had Antonio Sabato Jr. like years and years ago, and I actually wanted him on because I knew he had I collect action figures, and he had a Batman. Really, he has a Batman collection. Do you collect action figures?
Not so much. I'm so prone to clutter. I don't need to add anything to it.
Do you have an action figure? Any of your characters have been in an action figure yet?
Oh, not yet. I mean, they're at some point, they might, at some point they could make my Star Wars character a figure. That's, I mean, they get to over time, they get to just about everyone. So it could happen someday.
It'll happen, or we'll just write your own film that you star in, and then
exactly. Yeah.
You guys too, you can follow Galen on Instagram. He's at Galen Howard, Galen Howard. We got 3 minutes left.
Oh, 3 minutes. That's a lot.
3 minutes, not too bad.
Airtime, that's a lot, 3 minutes. So let's get personal. Got a girlfriend?
Not currently, no.
Did you have a girlfriend? You got rid of her?
No. I've had a it's been hard to find. It's hard to find compatible someone compatible in LA. There's
it's not like a war.
That's what my daughters keep saying, that they can't meet a decent guy. I thought that's ridiculous. There's plenty of decent people out there.
It's hard to I think it's hard for people to meet out here. Everything is so kind of what's the word compartmentalized. It's everything's kind of compartmentalized, so it's like everyone's in different places. It's hard to really meet the right people.
And there's so many whores.
Male and female, and whatever.
Yes,
and whatever.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's every there's there are a lot of people. It's hard to meet genuine people who are people who are honest, people who are real. It's
That's
hard.
Right. No, I believe.
You know what it is? It's the generations. In my generation, if you were not real and honest and down to earth, you were called full of shit. And people didn't talk to you or like you or friend you. So in my day, you couldn't get away with what they get away with today. All this bullshit that they're doing with calling him a horror, it or was, all that nonsense. what is it that they do? How do they do that?
Don't.
You're not allowed to call your parents anymore. You call them my breeders or something. The woke people.
Woke people.
Woke people. Everybody has their own little insanity. They want to change history. They want to change the world. It's not possible. You cannot do it. What it is. Now create new. Make a new history. Make a new world. I'm all in favor of that.
I'd be in favor too of you like writing. You should write something of your own like vehicle or whatever. Because I posted this thing on Facebook the other day, and it was like, Hollywood remakes. All the great people with Hollywood with great ideas for films, and then there's thousands of them, and then there's a picture of a guy saying, "Okay, what are we going to remake?"
Right?
Like when you do original content, I think you've got a great brain for it, and I think that you should come up with something. I'm a producer; I can help you like raise money for it, and let's do something fun.
Absolutely,
I think what we have to do is we have to.
We got to go too. We're out of
we have
time.
to have
We used
more,
our 3 minutes.
We have to have more films today that preach and teach honesty. We've lost honesty in this society.
Films that
And
lead by example.
And every movie that we watch is the same movie we watched the night before. It's just they changed the characters in the city, and we need.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I love it. So we got to go though.
Make a superhero an honest hero, and then people will follow it.
Anyway, Galen Howard, everybody, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Oh, this was so much fun.
Are you going to the Tommy Knocker Saturday?
I'm going to try to be there. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
we'll see you then.
Saturday.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for
Take care,
joining.
guys. Thank you.
Next week. Have a great weekend,
See you.
everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Sunrise can turn out to be so wrong.
Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.